All right, so now it is Friday afternoon, February 28th, 2014, 2:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Take a look at LifeLock now. Okay, too bad. I wish I never sold those puts this morning because that triangle that was setting up at the end of the day yesterday is just working out so nicely, as these high probability patterns often do. So here's what's happening. This is what it looked like yesterday at the close. And now you can see that what happened was we broke to the downside and then we went back up. Notice how we came down to this Fibonacci cluster, bounced, went back up to this other Fibonacci cluster up here. Let me stretch this out a little bit. And again, this is a 5-minute chart on LifeLock. And so let's zoom in a little bit. So price went ahead, came back up to this Fibonacci cluster, and notice also the 200 period moving average up over here. So it came back up and even spiked as high as almost did a trend line retrace. Notice it didn't quite do the trend line retrace, but it came close, went right up to that Fibonacci though. So now then price continued to go down. Where did it come back down to? Fibonacci cluster. There it bounced. Notice now we're trending underneath this 8 exponential moving average. Notice we're down below the 50 period moving average. Your triangle is still up here, but it's starting to fade into the distance. But let's bring it back in focus a little bit. So there's the triangle pattern. Notice here is the measurement for the target for the triangle pattern. So I'm expecting price to get down to about $19.67. And believe it or not, that's exactly where the price is right now. Watch this because I can see the box over here. Watch. This is where price went down and then it gapped down. Look, where did it go to? Right to my arrow. So this is now 2:49 p.m. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual trade. So now, here we are. Here's my LifeLock trade. Here's my 5 that I sold, my 5 puts that I sold this morning for 70 cents. Silly me, I'm down $275 with that. However, the 5 puts that I bought yesterday, the 1750 Aprils, that was now they're moving up. They're 65 cents. I have to watch very carefully now because let's see how far down. You never know just how low she can go. So right now, my March 2250 calls that I own 5 of, notice it's kind of strange. I'm still up today. Even though LifeLock is down, I'm still up 37.50 in that trade, altogether down $162. But I entered that trade back in January 30th. Today's the 28th, so it's almost a month. I've only got 21 days left in this trade. Now, so yesterday, I entered this 6 minutes before the close. And so I bought them for 50 cents. Now they're worth 65 cents, up a whopping $75. Basically, I went ahead and put that trade on just to go ahead and force LifeLock to do something. And sure enough, it couldn't figure out what to do. So of course I sold 5 of these puts just to mess myself up. And let's take a look at the chart again. You can see LifeLock, it just hit this Fibonacci level right here, which is where I was expecting. Will it bounce back up from here? And it could bounce very quickly. If not, look, we have another Fibonacci cluster right down here at 1958. So here we're starting to go back up a little bit. And let's put this on pause and watch what happens. All right, so now take a look. A few minutes later, 3:03 p.m., and notice that now we have completely broken down right to the next Fibonacci cluster, right there at 1957. What has that done to my trade? Well, I just wish I didn't sell those 5 puts this morning because now, that trade is really, it's hurting me a bit. I'm up $75 in these 5 puts that I bought yesterday. They're not moving that much. You can see that the bid and the ask is 55 by 75 over here. So I'm watching this carefully. The market is starting to break down a little bit. This is, after all, Friday at 3 o'clock. The market has made new highs, and so it looks like there could be some profit taking. And some of our other trades are also, let's go ahead and just, if you look in the trade log, you can see trades that we have active in GNC, ANF, Safeway, LifeLock, Fortinet. Notice that everything is starting to break down, and here's the Russell 2000. Notice the big volume bar here coming down. These are 5-minute charts. So it looks like this trade here on LifeLock, where I've bought the 5 puts, now, how far and how low can she go? Well, we'll see. Put the chart back up. So it pierced this support line, the Fibonacci line, and we'll see where this closes at 4 o'clock today. I'll pause the video and we'll see how much more time goes by here. Okay, so now the time is 3:11 p.m. and the entire market is breaking down here at the end of the day. Take a look at the Dow 30. We were at 16,400. We are breaking all levels of support. Look at this nosedive. And if you want to know why, well, let's go ahead and look at Market Watch. The news is that the Ukraine is being invaded by troops and jets and planes, and so it could be that there's a little bit of risk off taking place in the markets, especially after we've made all-time highs in some of the indexes. So you can see the S&P 500, it hit 1867. And now it's crashed and cratered down to 1847. It's a pretty good drop of 20 points in a couple of hours. And look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ had made a double top up here at 3720, and now it's all the way down to 3663. That's a pretty good, significant pullback. So everything is going down in sympathy. If we go ahead and take a look at our charts on all of our holdings, notice GNC's going down, Abercrombie and Fitch is trying to pull back, Safeway's come back down a little bit, LifeLock continued lower, 1950, and Fortinet also. We'll go back to our other chart, and you can see that LifeLock keeps hitting lower and lower Fibonacci clusters and support levels. Let's actually bring this up to a different time frame. Let's look at the daily chart, and you can see all of these lines that I've been drawing, and we just have this trend channel that's being reversed. What I want to do momentarily is I want to go ahead and hide. I want to hide these drawings temporarily. So what I'll do is open up one of my other charts, click on a line, manage my drawings, and I'm going to say show no lines on this chart. So here's a nice clean chart with absolutely no lines. But as soon as I draw one, notice that they come back. So I'll click on this and do it again. Manage drawings, show none. And now I want to draw another supporting trend line here so that we can get an idea as to if LifeLock really wants to crack. Well, we've got the 50-period moving average on the daily chart down here at about 1898. We'll call it 19. So 19 would be the support level. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart. And you can see that this Fibonacci cluster is holding support and resistance at this point, acting as the magnet that Fibonacci clusters are. But we also have this moving average up on top, the 8 exponential. So you'll typically see that price will cling to that 8 exponential. The odds of LifeLock getting back up to that are high. But remember, price can go sideways. And if price goes sideways, then that 8 exponential moving average will eventually catch up to it. So what does the trade look like now? The 1750 puts for April that I bought yesterday for 50 cents are still trading at about 65 cents. They really haven't moved that much, and that's a pretty big spread. Notice that that's what can happen in a stock that's not traded too much, not too many market makers. Notice there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 exchanges quoting. And just to go ahead and put it in perspective, if I was to look at one of the other trades that's heavily traded right now, like Safeway. If I say, show me the market depth, notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exchanges trading Safeway options. So that alone can make the spread much bigger. It's a consideration. How is Safeway doing? Well, we're looking at it. Well, we're up $50 in the 35 calls and the 40 calls. We have a small loss here. Earlier this week with Safeway, we captured some excellent gains where I had originally 10 contracts on the 35 calls. I'm up over 1,000% in that trade right now. Notice I had bought them for 25 cents. They're trading at $3. So I took some of that money off the table and then continued to buy more. So you can see the Safeway trades in the trade log. Right now we're focusing on LifeLock. And so we have these 50 cents trading for 65. The 20 puts, they're really picking up some value, which is hurting the trade, hurting the overall trade account. So we will continue to watch Safeway and LifeLock and GNC and Fortinet and Abercrombie and Fitch in the trade log of TradersEducationNetwork.com. Tune in to see how we closed out the day, as the market just seems to be really, notice how we pulled back right to the support resistance zone on all the indexes, and so we'll see how we close later on. Jerry Furst, TradersEducationNetwork.com, and remember to go ahead and use the bottom lower right YouTube maximize screen tool so that you can see all of these charts as large as your screen. Over and out.